It worked in mice. It worked in mice.
Welcome back to It Worked in Mice, the only health podcast that acknowledges most of these miracle cures will never make it past the lab door. I'm Alex.
And I'm Piper, here to bring a little sunshine to Alex's storm cloud of skepticism. Today, we've got some really fascinating studies, from an off switch for inflammation to a new culprit in the nearsightedness epidemic.
An off switch, you say? Is it located next to the mute button for unsolicited health advice? Because I could really use one of those.
Har har. No, this is actually amazing. Researchers at Queen Mary University of London believe they've found the body's natural off switch for inflammation.
Let me guess. It's kale. The answer is always kale.
It's not kale. It's these tiny fat-based molecules called epoxyoxylipins. Think of them as the body's own little fire department. Inflammation is like a necessary fire to fight off an infection or injury, but you need someone to come in and put it out afterwards so it doesn't burn the whole building down. That's what these molecules do.
Okay, a fire department. I can visualize that. So what happens when the fire department is on a permanent coffee break?
That's essentially what happens with chronic diseases like arthritis, heart disease, and diabetes. The fire of inflammation just keeps smoldering, causing long-term damage. This study is the first to really understand how the body is supposed to put that fire out.
Right. And how did they figure this out? I'm picturing a lot of sad lab mice with tiny sore knees.
Nope, this was a human study, which is why it's so exciting. They took a group of healthy volunteers and injected a tiny amount of dead E. coli bacteria into their forearms.
They did what? People voluntarily signed up to have E. coli shot into their bodies? The things people will do for a $50 gift card.
It was a UV-killed, harmless version. It just triggered a very localized, temporary inflammatory response. Redness, pain, swelling. It mimicked a small infection. Then they gave some of the participants a drug that blocks an enzyme that normally breaks down our little firefighter molecules.
So they gave them a drug to protect the protectors. It's like giving the fire department a shield.
Exactly, and the results were incredible. The group that got the drug saw their pain resolve faster, and they had lower levels of the specific immune cells that are known to drive chronic inflammation. They essentially supercharged the body's natural healing process.
Okay, I'll admit, that's slightly more interesting than kale. So what's the catch? Does this miracle drug cost $1 million and turn your hair green?
Well, it's not a treatment yet, but it opens the door for a whole new class of drugs. Instead of just blocking the inflammation, which is what most current drugs do, these new treatments could actually help the body resolve it and heal. It's proactive, not just reactive. It could be a safer way to treat a huge range of diseases.
Right, a safer way that will be available in the year 2077, pending FDA approval and a series of commercials with seniors playing tennis in slow motion. I'll keep my ibuprofen on standby just in case.
You're impossible. This is a huge step forward. It's about understanding the how of healing. Anyway, let's move on from internal inflammation to something we can all literally see, or increasingly can't see from a distance.
Ah, the great nearsightedness explosion. My people, I've been blaming my phone for years and I've felt very virtuous about it. Please don't take that away from me.
Gently teasing, then sound intrigued. I'm not taking it away entirely, but this new research from SUNY College of Optometry suggests it's not just the screens. The real culprit might be the combination of screens and dim indoor lighting.
Oh, fantastic. So now my poorly lit apartment is attacking my eyeballs. I thought its moody ambiance was cultivating an artistic soul, but it turns out it was just cultivating astigmatism.
It's a really cool theory. They propose that when we do close-up work, like reading on our phones in low light, it messes with how our pupils work. It might reduce the total amount of light that hits the retina. The brain might interpret that lack of light as a signal that something is wrong, and it could trigger the eyeball to actually change shape over time, leading to myopia.
My eyeball is changing shape because I like to read in bed with one of those little clip-on lights. My body is betraying me in the most passive-aggressive way possible.
Think about it, though. It's a single theory that could explain so much. It explains why rates are skyrocketing. Nearly 50% of young adults in the US and Europe, and almost 90% in parts of East Asia. We're all living indoors, doing more close-up work than ever before.
I suppose it does track with the popular advice to go play outside. Everyone thought it was about looking at things in the distance, but maybe it was just about getting blasted with a healthy dose of sunshine.
That's exactly what the researchers are suggesting. It connects all the dots. Why does spending time outdoors help? More light. Why do certain eye drops or multifocal lenses work? They change how light is focused on the retina. It all comes back to light. The best part is the potential solution isn't some expensive therapy, it's just turning on more lights. Work near a window, use brighter bulbs.
You're telling me I can fight a global epidemic by changing a light bulb? That feels too simple. There has to be a catch. A subscription service for sunlight, perhaps?
No catch. It's just a reminder that our bodies evolved for a world with a bright sun, not a 40-watt bulb in a dark corner.
All this talk about dim light and focusing is making my eyes tired. I'm going to stare at a blank wall for 10 seconds to recalibrate. Don't touch the dial.
It worked in mice. Worked in mice. That sounds real nice.
Sounds real nice.
Will it work for you? Let's find out what's true. It worked in mice.
And he's back. Did you achieve Zen or just realize how many scuff marks are on your wall? Anyway, speaking of things that ache, I have our last story.
Please tell me it's good news. After learning my apartment is trying to blind me, I need a win.
Well, it's news. And I have a feeling you're going to find it validating. A new study published in RMD Open is challenging how effective exercise actually is for easing osteoarthritis symptoms.
Wait, stop. Say that again? Are you telling me that the number one piece of advice given to anyone with a creaky joint, just do some gentle exercise, might not be the magic bullet everyone claims it is?
That's the headline. Researchers analyzed data from dozens of clinical trials and found that exercise was associated with only small, short-lived effects on pain.
I knew it. I knew my deep spiritual connection to my couch was a valid form of physical therapy. This is the best day of my life. All those smug joggers. Who's jogging now? Not me. I was never jogging, but I feel very vindicated.
Hold on, don't throw away your walking shoes just yet. Let's get into the details. For knee osteoarthritis, the pain relief was small and didn't last long. For hip osteoarthritis, there was little to no difference compared to doing nothing. And for hand osteoarthritis, also just small improvements.
Little to no difference compared to doing nothing. Doing nothing is my primary form of exercise. I'm an expert. Where do I sign up for the next study?
But here's the important context. The study also found that exercise therapy gave similar results to other treatments, like painkillers, steroid injections, and even some types of surgery. So it's not that exercise is useless, it's that it might not be any better than those other options for pure symptom relief.
So I can either go to a spin class or get a steroid injection, and my knee will feel about the same. I think I know which one I'm choosing. One involves a lot less yelling from an overly enthusiastic instructor.
The first author of the study said it best. He said these findings call for a more realistic perspective. The relief is small and doesn't last, which suggests ongoing exercise is necessary just to maintain those modest benefits. It's about setting realistic expectations with patients.
Smug. Realistic expectations. I like that. Here's a realistic expectation. If you tell me to go for a run, I'm realistically not going to do it.
But not all the experts agree. The article interviewed another doctor, a sports medicine specialist named Bert Mandelbaum, who basically thought the study was absurd. He said, "How could you ever say exercise does not help osteoarthritis? It keeps us functional, it keeps our muscles strong, it keeps our heart strong."
Okay, Dr. Mandelbaum makes a fair point about overall health, but we're talking specifically about joint pain. If my knee hurts, making my heart stronger is great, but my knee still hurts.
His point was that you can't just lump all exercise into one category. Is it resistance training, endurance, high intensity? He thinks the study is too broad. But the other doctor quoted in the piece, Dr. Tasunian, said it's a critical reminder that treatment shouldn't be a one-size-fits-all approach. For people who can't exercise or just don't want to, there are other options that might work just as well for their pain.
I am team Dr. Tasunian. It's about having options. It's about a personalized plan. Smugly, and my personalized plan involves a comfy chair and a good book.
See, you're finding the positive message. It's not about ditching exercise. It's about creating a comprehensive plan. Weight management, physical therapy, low-impact activities if you can, and medical treatments when needed. The exercise is just one tool in the toolbox, not the whole toolbox itself. Optimistically, even if it only helps a little with pain, it's still doing wonders for your overall health.
Grudgingly, fine, it has other benefits, but I'm still going to feel a little smug the next time someone tells me to just go for a walk for my bad back. I'll tell them science is on my side. The science of sitting.
I'm sure you will. Okay, let's wrap this up. So today, we learned about a potential new way to turn off chronic inflammation right at the source, which is genuinely revolutionary.
A revolution that's currently pending. I'll check back in 10 years.
We discovered that the gloom of our indoor habitats might be making us all nearsighted, and the solution could be as simple as screwing in a brighter light bulb.
Or, and hear me out, we lean into it. We evolve into beautiful, pale creatures with giant eyes like tarsiers. I see an upside.
We learned that when it comes to the pain of osteoarthritis, exercise might be less of a cure-all and more of a single piece in a very complex, personalized puzzle.
A puzzle which, for me, looks suspiciously like a recliner. But fine, a recliner in a very well-lit room where I'm not inflamed. See, I listened. That's it for this episode of It Worked in Mice.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
It sounds real nice.
Will it work for you? Let's find out what's true.